We're going to talk about single mothers. Single mothers, man, shout out to you guys, because you ladies, and you, not even single mothers, single fathers too. Single fathers and single mothers, shout out to both of you. Because you guys have worked hard to make sure that you guys take care of your child. If you're co-parenting like me, shout out to you as well. It's not always easy, but it's helpful when you really need the help. And sometimes it's hard to share your kid with someone else. So a lot of people say the mom is bitter or the dad may be bitter, but it's not that. It's that they never would have thought in a million years that they would have this baby and they will be split away to where they had to raise a baby alone, or better yet, split up and it didn't go right. See, a lot of people, they physically look at them parents and judge single parents in general. But they don't realize that instead of judging them, you should be the one to help them get the banana. You should be the one to help them get the strawberries. You should be picking it up and realizing that single parents, it doesn't matter what age that they had their child, they didn't know that they were going to be alone in this. A single parent, first of all, I think it's a blessing that the person even wanted to go ahead and raise their child alone. It's not easy to sit here and raise kids alone and have to pay for things because people will just don't want to help you. And so you don't want to spend a lot of money in putting your kids in daycare when you got peoples that can wash them. And if you got someone that you know that washed them, then why should you? But a lot of people are into their self that they don't realize that, yeah, this person made their bed. But if you see that they're taking care of it, why won't you help them? I think the worstest thing in life when people are really trying to change and they don't have enough support on their side and change. But if they're true believers like me that know that God watches you and He'll send you people, you will be amazed. God sent me people. He sent me a lot of people. It was to the point where when I was left alone with those kids, I wasn't left alone. He made sure that I made it. And I'm thankful for him. Because when people looked at me, at this strong woman and perfect girl, it took me 10 writings. It took me counseling. It took me to get up. People didn't know that I was suicidal before I even had my children. That's all because a lot of people didn't recognize me. They recognized my issues. But see, it's amazing to know when religion versus relationship, and I gotten to know who God really was, I started to see a different point of it. I seen that God was amazing in His own little way, that where when people try to judge me, it didn't matter, because I knew that God was with me and He said that He wasn't going to leave me. I was just upset at the ones that I had to take all of this to them to see that I was doing good. So they would say thank you to me and I didn't even need it, because I'm like, man, I done came all the way up here and now y'all want to say you proud of me? It's so sad that people waste your time because you allow them to. I think it's the biggest thing in life is to know that you allow these people to waste your time. That's what it really is. But if you keep on valuing yourself and valuing your time, you will be okay. Because God put you on earth for you to be surviving. God put you on earth for you to live. Now, we are dead. He said it in his little words. But it's just how you do to get back alive, where you don't just work for the man. What are you working for the man for? Are you trying to make sure you get towards your dreams and goals? Some people say, like me, I was one of them. I did this for my kids. I'm doing all of this. Well, if it had to take your kids for you to do all this, why? You should be doing this because of you want to do it. It shouldn't have to take God to bring children to make you do your gifts. People don't realize when God said, I'm gonna bless you with children, children will bless you. That's because children are your little angels. And sometimes a lot of people, they don't take care of their kids. It is true. But they don't realize that children are your angels. Where God sent them little angels down there for you to just kind of guide towards the dreams and goals still. Even if you failed, he'll send you blessings. Because he figured you out there humping and doing all that, I might as well send you a blessing. And that was me. I mean, I had multiple diseases back to back because your girl was busy. My dad was so concerned. But he was a man of faith. And I remember when I was out doing my own thing, my dad did not see that in me. He said, you gonna come home? And this was before he died. So I remember how my dad was at that faith where I'm like, you think I'm gonna come home and you know how busy I be? Yeah, you gonna come home. I didn't come home. But it's the fact is, he didn't see that. And when someone doesn't see the nasty of you, they don't see all that dirty stuff on you. They just see you. They're looking past the false compared to the one that's agreeing with you because they know the dirty you. But the other person knew the clean you. And he's seen it in you. Ain't that a miracle? Where everybody's seen the dirty you. They seen the person that had drugs on them, you know? They seen the person that was out there hoeing. They seen a person, whatever you were doing in your life. They seen hoeing, drugs. They saw the bruiser. They saw all types of things. But ain't it something to be around somebody that sees you? If they saw you, that's because God is in them. God is right in there. And they're like, no, honey, I don't see all that. Go ahead and do what you need to do. That's because they love you. We don't realize a person truly just loved us and seen nothing but us until they're gone. Once they're gone, you start to be like, it start to hit you. We all got a learning disability because it takes us a while to understand when people really care about you until they're gone. My dad cared, and I could tell. And he would give me and make sure I get my shots because I was busy. I ain't gonna front. But he loved me, and he didn't see the busyness. He saw somebody that can get busy in regards of getting her life together. He didn't see the single mother of two. He's seen his daughter taking care of them two. You know, he just didn't see everything like that. My dad would never, he was so cool. He would never say, single mother. I've never heard that on my dad's mouth. He's seen his daughter. And I started saying, I know that it's just me, but I came from a 2-parent home. And you know what? It doesn't matter if you broke edges with that single parent. Just know that you're not single. You guys didn't create that baby alone. You guys might have fallen short in your differences, but the baby itself is a blessing. They say the children are sinful babies or they're out of wedlock. Stop listening to the negativity and go for the people who are pushing you towards your goals. Because I've learned this. Sometimes we sit here listening more and more to people who are negative, vice versa, people who are planting some seeds, and we wasting time on the goals and the voices of what they gave us. Well, I thank God that it ain't even 2019 yet. I mean, it is 2019 yet. I mean, the year, it's January 31st. So we just started out in a month, and I just started out speaking. I became from Facebook all the way from a YouTube. From a YouTube all the way to a blog to a business card online. So I know that God was like, we got to get you right now. It's your time to create this business the way you want it. It's your time to kind of flow every day. When you at home, you got things to do. Yes, you do. Do your business. Do your talking. And talk about life to these people and tell them what I've done for you. The number one thing is I will not give myself credit because I know it was God. Man, I was crazy, man. I was busy. I wasn't thinking about Jesus and all that other stuff, hooping and hollering and hopping and all that. And so I knew when my uncle told me to go get up in that water, I'm like, he even didn't see. He saw an angel. And I'm like, I can't get up on that. But I got in there because I didn't want to let him down. But when I got in there, eventually, when I got baptized, God was there always. See, we think that we got to do all these things to get baptized. Or to get cleansed out by God. We think that we got to hoodlum and hotlum and all that stuff. But really, honestly, you just got to change your habit, baby. You ain't got to do nothing huge to where you hooting and hollering. I think I love our old school. But they didn't tell us everything that we need to know. Like, they didn't give us the direction correct. So now we, as a team, gonna help each other. And we gonna show them that, look, we ain't gonna fall because we got somebody giving us a little tips about what Jesus and all that stuff is. Because y'all didn't tell it that. The 1990 babies, man, po us. But we made it. Half of us were sex addicts. Now I was one of them. Some of them were drugs, alcoholisms, and a lot of girls and women. Women, man, was out there pimping, hoeing, selling drugs, all these things. But our old generations just whooped us. Yeah, hooting and hollering at us. But they didn't talk to us. They didn't really tell us the plan of helping us. They didn't tell us their life. They didn't tell us what they did to get here. And I'm telling you, I am not fake at all. I was hopping and everything. And I don't know how God did it. But he did it for me. And he delivered me like that. He could deliver anybody. So don't let nobody confuse you. Old school, I love them. But they really did not tell us correct. They did not. They just beat us up in the head. We came from a generation where we ain't you make no choices or I'ma tell you all this. You gonna do what I say. You better go out there and do it. Now, even though I'm out here eating biscuits, but you gonna do it. And so you looking like, You gonna tell me to go here and you sitting here eating cheeseburger? Don't you worry about what I'm doing. Y'all know 1990 babies. Y'all know what I'm talking about with our old school and how they did us. And I love them, but that's why half of us is so into the drugs, so into the alcohol, because they so wounded. You know, it's like, y'all wounded us. So some of us, like Marquela over here, like, Ollie! Just lifting it to God, because Jesus, they wounded us. They did. But God, He is so amazing to where even though we were wounded, we were also healed. So just know in that generation of the old school, I gotta laugh because I wasn't the only one that dealt with it, you know, and so it felt good to know that my age, we was on the level where you gotta get it, like some of them was getting beat up and it was so many things with 19 babies. So if you see someone drinking and stuff like that, realize that's because they trying to run and they happy they got out, so they dancing and drinking themselves away. Because old school, they needed instructions too. A little bit, tad bit. They needed to tell us the real truth, because some of them old school was walking around there acting like they knew everything. Like, man, they walking up there, didn't tell us a story about how they was hopping on stuff and how they was doing what they was doing and how they get up here in the church house and how did God deliver them, you know? What did God do to deliver them from where they came from? What did they do? They sitting around there, woo, holly, and then they looking at you and sticking their tone off. They sticking their nose off and forget that they had their kids young. They're sticking their nose at you and forgetting that they were the ones on drugs. They're sticking their nose at you and forgetting that they were the ones that were drinking alcohol. That's not what they should have been doing, but that's over now. I believe when our 2000s come, the 19s will get up. There won't be no more jokes about the young having our babies out there crazy. It won't be no more jokes about we are this and that for the people who had in the 1990s the babies young. It will be different. I believe now that we will stand. And our babies, actually, I see it now in my own neighborhood. They will be the ones to bless us and help us. So I know that I see in the 1990s, we are going to be the generations to where we're going to teach our kids what we weren't taught. So get up, y'all. Stop drinking, man. Come drink some water with me. Come drink some Kool-Aid, man. You know you like some chicken. Don't even worry about it. Because once you get up, get your butt out of the bed, girl, boy. You know, get out of there. Get out of there. Because once y'all get out of there, oh, my God, it's so gorgeous. When I got out of the bed, it was so funny. Because I thought I would never do it. But God was not a funny God. He kept hearing me pray. Every time I would lay down and tell him, Jesus, I'm sorry, Jesus, but oh Lord, Jesus. And after a while, God bought me. And look at me talking about God. Because I knew that if I kept on laying in that bed while all my friends, you know, drinking and smoking, and they passing me something, and I don't even smoke nor drink, and I'm doing things that I know that I don't do, that don't even make sense. But I would do it because, I don't know, my brain wasn't correct. And then when I smoked something, I was so crazy, it scared me. I scared everybody around us. So I began to leave my friends because I know they love me. but they were going somewhere that I couldn't be in. So it's okay to let that lifestyle go, because that's not where you're at. Because you want to speak to where people can take you serious. How in the world they going to take you serious is you still hopping in the bed? I just talked about it. How in the world can they take you serious of talking about God and you're still smoking? You're still doing the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. Now, temptation's always near, and God forbid, you're going to change eventually. But know that one thing about God is when you make up a decision in your life, you make up a decision. And a lot of people don't realize that He is such a good person. But we tend to forget about who He is, because the old school whooped us with whips too much. But see, God said once you get out of slavery, stay out of it.